Aside from the coolest features, I love to see what for quirky things automakers throw into their vehicles. It could be a nod to heritage, it could be a nod to maybe its predecessor, or it could be a shot fired at its competition. I'm sure every car has at least got one quirk. So I've gathered my top 10 favorite neat quirks out of every vehicle I've reviewed. So starting off at number 10, we have the digital gauge cluster animations on the 2020 Hyundai Sonata, specifically switching into sport mode. Now, Hyundai did it awesome here. It shows a blossom, like an explosion of electricity, lightning bolts, and all that sorts of stuff when it transitions to sport mode. And here you can see a slow motion of it. Now it does take some of the animations and replays them in frames and kind of reverses it, but it's still a really, really neat thing. So number 9 is on pretty much all Hyundai and Kia vehicles, and specifically my 2016 Tucson, and that is the system check graphic. On Hyundai's, I believe it should show a side view of the car and a sort of thick line passing through the car. On Kia models, I know that it has a 3/4 view of the car and a red box that kind of has some robotic animation to it passing through the car. Honestly, it's something that maybe owners might miss, but I think it's a really neat quirk to have. Now number 8, in my personal opinion, is kind of a pointless feature, but it does have some purpose and I can see why. But that is the 2020 Genesis G90's Smart Posture Care. What it does is it uses analytical data to find the best driving position for you. It asks you a bunch of stuff, like your height, your weight, your body inseam, all that sorts of stuff. Using your analytical data, it will automatically adjust the power tilt telescopic steering column and the power seats to the best position possible for the best posture and most comfort while driving. It's a neat thing. I applaud Genesis for the idea, but when I put in my details and I clicked enter, it pulled the seat so far back I almost couldn't touch the pedals. And it also was not very comfortable, so that's kind of why I think it's kind of a useless feature. Number 7 also relates to my 2016 Hyundai Tucson, and any vehicles that have adaptive headlights, they all have a dance. Now I'll admit, there's a lot of automakers that can do a headlight dance better, especially Mercedes and Audi and them, but regardless, I just think it's really neat to see in action, and I think it's a really neat touch by the automaker to tell you, hey, this thing's pretty technologically advanced because I got steering headlights. Now number 6 is kind of a weird one, and I know a lot of people hate it, especially if they don't do it very well, especially people that love to hate on Ford's EcoBoosts. But that goes to the 2021 Kia K5 and its active sound generator. Now it sounds okay, but when you put it into the highest setting, I believe it's called enhanced, it sounds a bit alienated. I'll admit it sounds kind of cool, but it sounds way too alienated, and it sounds even worse than some of the other cars that I've reviewed that have had some sort of sound generation, but I just kind of thought it was odd that it kind of sounded like an alien. Now at number 5, it's honestly a thing that all Hondas, I believe, have, and it's kind of pointless, but I think it's a really neat little thing, and it is the pulsating push button starter. Now, when you have the key fob in your pocket and the car's off, it will actually sit there and pulsate the start button red. Honestly, it kind of makes you want to start it up, and it looks racy. I think it's pretty cool, and it's a really neat little touch. Honda didn't have to do it, but they went ahead and did it anyway, so kudos to them. Now, number 4, this comes on all Subarus, but it is specifically the 2020 Subaru Outback's anniversary/birthday reminder. Practically what you do is set either the anniversary or your birthday into the car, and when it hits your birthday, it flashes up a message on the screen saying, "Happy birthday, your name," or "Happy anniversary, your name." I'll admit it's kind of a dumb thing to have, but I can kind of see why, because Subaru is very focused on their people. But honestly, I wish more automakers would implement this feature into their cars, because I actually think it's kind of cool. We're cracking into the top 3, and it's going to be a very quirky 3. But number 3 has got to be the Hyundai Sonata's integrated trunk opener to the H logo. It's a very neat way to hide the trunk release, and all you do is push on the top part of the H logo, which is made out of some sort of flexible rubberized material, and it will pop the trunk open. Now, aside from Hyundai and Kia's very, very thoughtful and very innovative smart trunk hands-free tailgate / trunk opener, it's interesting to see what Hyundai is doing in order to clean up the back ends of their cars instead of sticking a very tacky trunk release on the back of their cars. Number 2 is absolutely characteristic of every brand new Jeep that's made today, but I'm specifically going to talk about the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon Launch Edition's very, very, very numerous Easter eggs. I'm going to go through all the ones that I have seen so far, so strap in. This one's going to go quick. There's a 1941 Willys climbing the passenger side of the windshield. On startup, there's a Gladiator running across the base of the instrument cluster. The 1941 Willys MB transforming into a new Jeep on startup. Gladiator silhouette on the gear shift knob. Willys MB silhouette on wheels. 419 area code stamped into the bed to signify the area code where the Gladiator is built, which is in Toledo, Ohio. Sandals on the trim piece behind the hood. 7-slot grille because Jeep was the first manufacturer to drive on all 7 continents. The signature Jeep front end design on the headlights. This characteristic 7 slots on the plastic cover over the radiator under the hood. Wiper cowl has 7 slots. A map of the Moab Desert on the cover for the radar sensors. Tire tread marks on bedside wall for bikes. Gladiator rock climbing on off-road page start screen with a message saying maybe lost but never stuck. Dome lights mimic a jerry can. Handle on removable tubs beneath rear seats have that signature Jeep front end pattern on them. And the Mopar all-weather floor mats have a map of the Moab Desert, a T-Rex embossed to pay homage to Jurassic Park, and a 1941 Willys MB embossed into the rear floor mats. Woo! I probably missed a whole bunch of them because there's probably 50,000 more. But I'm pretty darn sure by now you should know that the Jeep Gladiator has a shit ton of Easter eggs. Now you might be wondering what could have beat out all those Easter eggs from the Jeep Gladiator. Well, I'm glad you're wondering because it is the emissions testing mode in the 2020 Tesla Model 3. It is so weird, so stupid, but yet so hilarious at the same time. You can command it to fart whenever you put the turn signal on. You could just press a button on the steering wheel and it will do it. And you could set multiple different fart sounds. And it's so stupid, so funny, but yet so hilarious at the same time. And it's a very great way to prank your friends. I swear, Elon Musk is like the king of putting stupid, but yet hilarious quirks in his cars. And truly, emissions testing mode is hands down one of the best quirks in the automotive industry.